Welcome, Gen Nation, to the Oversell podcast, where we talk about all things wrestling. We are here tonight. It's your man Zuplexcity with my man Scythex. One shot. Man, I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to confuse you with Fred.
That's the end of our podcast. Everybody have a good night.
I apologize. My man, One Shot. I'm your man, Zuplexcity. Gen Nation, stand up. Get ready. We are talking about all things Crown Jewel tonight. It was a banger pay-per-view on, or premium live event, as they like to call it now, on Saturday afternoon, because it was held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and it's WWE's yearly cash grab at Saudi oil money.
Yep.
They make a lot of money. They make a big spectacle out of this Crown Jewel every year. And I'll be honest, it's usually not my favorite event. What about you?
No, not really. Sorry. I just looked at my phone. They were trying to trade me Tampa Bay for Cooper Kupp. They get fucked.
What? That's an absurd trade.
Yeah. That's not my favorite. Like most everybody else, I look forward to WrestleMania. That's really bad.
Yeah, WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, but I usually like the ones in between, like the Elimination Chamber, and we got Survivor Series, which is going to be War Games actually next month, the end of this month or next month, however they're doing it.
See, prior to all the Triple H taking over, I really didn't watch live or anything like that. It was all I'll watch a highlight here or there because I didn't like where wrestling was at that point. But ever since Triple H took back over, I'm starting to get back in there.
Wow, this one reeked of Triple H all over it. I'll tell you that much. It definitely did. So let's get right into it. We're going to go through match by match. We're going to discuss each match, each storyline, how it's going down. We'll break it down. We'll give a rating for each match. And let's get it going. So the opener was the Beast Brock Lesnar versus the almighty Bobby Lashley. You're right over there. How's that s'more whiskey?
It was fucking strong. Holy shit.
I see Steve over here having the vinegar strokes.
I don't even know where I'm at with the screenshots I was trying to put up. Oh, there it is. Okay. We got it.
So we have the Beast Brock Lesnar versus the almighty Bobby Lashley, the rematch that nobody wanted. But this is the Crown Jewel kind of program that they've done in the past, is just throw as many big names out there as they can, get all the Saudis out to the Riyadh.
Yep. It's just a money event.
It's a money event. So we know that that's why when we talk about the main event, that's why Logan Paul was in the main event. You know what I mean? It makes perfect sense for him to be a Crown Jewel. This was the same thing. You got Brock, you got Bobby Lashley. I got to be honest with you, man. I'm just so over Bobby Lashley. I don't need to see him anymore. I think he's one of the most boring wrestlers on the planet. Like he's terrible on the mic. His wrestling style is just like, I'm a powerhouse. The guy physically is like,
he's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of wrestling.
Yeah.
He's a big guy, and that's why he's there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he doesn't really impress as far as, like, when he's in the ring. Like, I don't even think he sells that well, to be honest with you.
No, he's too big.
But, yeah. So you got to put him up against a guy like Brock to give us a banger match. It starts out with Bobby obviously doing the heel turn because he attacks Brock before the bell rings. Brock has the knee injury. They go on to have spears, suplex, spear, suplex, spear. And that was basically the entire match. Until
which, if that knee injury wasn't legit, he sold that motherfucker really well.
Listen, Brock can sell, man. Like I tell people all this time, everybody hates on Brock all the time, but he sells like a motherfucker. He really does. He's a professional in that way. Like, you go back to Royal Rumble when he was doing the whole, like, I'm gonna start at 1 and take everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
And McIntyre hit him with the Claymore and he went out of the ring. He sold that like you thought Brock was dead. Like, he took it right on the forehead, beat the boot, went out of the ring. Like, it was legit. He could sell. He could sell better than most big men.
What do you think about the way that the match ended?
It's just like this. It might as well have been a surprise roll up. Honest with you, it might as well have been like the 900th surprise roll up we've seen this month from them. Because Bobby hits him with the hurt lock, and then he just gives him the whole. I mean, they did a good job selling the whole, like, the arm thing, and the Brock fighting out of it, and then kicking off the ropes and just doing the pin. I think it was a little too far once the match was over and Bobby went back over and put him in it again. Made Brock look like a bitch. Well, I mean, it protected both guys. You know what I'm saying? As far as
it made Brock look like a bitch.
I don't think so.
I don't
think so. Nah, because Brock won. Like, that's why he doesn't look like the bitch. You know what I mean? Brock won. He already had the knee.
Like a bitch.
Right?
On the side of the ropes. Come on.
He was selling, man. He was selling, But, I mean, that obviously was a heel turn for Bobby. I don't know what plans they have with him going forward. I'm sure we're going to get, now that they're 1-1, I'm sure we're going to get Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar again for fucking some reason.
Number 3.
Yeah, that's all we want. Like, dude, if I never see Bobby Lashley on TV again, I'll be happy. So I gave that match a 5 out of 10. Just really wasn't anything there for me. I just kind of was just like, it's another Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar match.
I'll agree with your 5 out of 10. I'll agree with that.
5 out of 10. I like it. Match number 2. Now, this is very interesting because this had a lot of implications for the upcoming pay-per-view. We had Damage Control versus Bliss and Asuka. Before the match starts, I got to talk about this. Doing a backstage segment. It's Bliss and Asuka talking to Byron, and he's asking about the upcoming match. This, that, and the other thing. There's a TV next to Alexa, and it starts to flicker, and then the Death Moth comes on. Uncle Howdy, Death Moth. She sells it perfectly. Starts giving the like, while she's talking, and just kind of like ignores it and just keeps it rolling. So there's a lot of implications here with Bray Wyatt. So I'm wondering if she takes back over that like Sister Abigail possessed Alexa Bliss thing that we got going on. There's a possibility there.
I mean, I could fuck with it.
Dude, I love it. She was so awesome in that role. That I would not be mad at that at all. There's a possibility that Bray's building a stable. Now, we'll get to the Bray Wyatt segment later on, but for that segment right there, that backstage segment, it was smart, I think, to start showing that Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt family or the Wyatt personalities are starting to invade all of WWE. I think we see more of that coming in the coming weeks. I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. So we go into the match. Damage Control, Bliss and Asuka for the women's tag team champions. I thought the match was very good. It was a great technical match. They started off with some catch wrestling. Seeing Io Sky and Asuka go against each other like from their days in Japan, like they know how to work off each other. This was a very, very good, solid, like clean technical match. I love seeing the women pull together a match like this. Had some pretty big spots in it. It really shows you how far women's wrestling has come. I know, like a few years ago, we had the Evolution and the Revolution and whatever else they were selling us.
Yeah.
But now, like, you see, you have a match that doesn't have Becky, it doesn't have Sasha, it doesn't have Charlotte, and it doesn't have Bailey in it, you know, and they're able to really put together a really, really great match.
I mean, it's definitely evolved in the last few years. I mean, even thinking back to like when I consistently watched wrestling, you had like Lita in China.
Yeah.
And now you have just a whole roster full of names.
And they're all great. They're all great, you know.
Did you know they have a dress code they got to have in Saudi?
Yeah. They all have to wear like a turtleneck bodysuit thing.
Yep. They got to cover up.
Yeah, they all got to be covered up. There's always different rules, and the WWE. You can't go forward with certain things. Like we know that there was. I mean, and listen, it's their country, it's their rules. I get it.
You know, what?
What happened?
Nothing.
I said it's their country, it's their rules. I get it.
I said it's their oil.
It's their oil, basically. You know. But at the end of the day, you know, you got to respect the house that you're in. So the females have to cover up. You know, may not agree with personally and all their stuff, but hey, this is what they do. That's, you know, you got to play within the rules. We know that there's reasons why MVP couldn't be over there. There's reasons why Sami Zayn couldn't go over.
Which you filled me on prior to this, which I didn't know about.
You know, I mean, Saudi Arabia has its own rules, its own culture, and that is what it is. We got to talk about the end of the match though, because Nikki Cross comes out of nowhere, pegs Alexa off the top rope, right? Damage Control gets the win, retains the titles. Now, does this set up the women's War Games match at Survivor Series? Nikki joins Damage Control, Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka team up. They throw in Candice LeRae. They add one more on each side, maybe Rhea Ripley, and whoever the OC decides to get out of there, you know, to pull up to go against Rhea Ripley.
I mean, what happened to Trish Stratus being brought back?
I don't know if she's coming back for Survivor Series though. If she does, she wouldn't be in the War Games match. That thing's brutal.
She's still pretty fit.
I mean, she's still pretty fit, but there's no reason for her to take bumps off ladders anymore.
There's no reason, but why not? Fuck it. Full send that shit.
Have you seen, I don't think you have because you haven't really been watching over the last couple of years, but when you get a chance, check out, because they're on Peacock, the War Games matches from NXT TakeOvers. They're insane.
Bro, I haven't watched anything NXT.
I'm going to give you some homework, bro. You got to watch some War Games matches. Don't have to watch the whole pay-per-view. Just watch the War Games match. You know what I mean? They're insanity how good these guys are pulling it off. That's why, like, I'm hoping that we get a good War Games roster out of this. But I think that could be a good way to set up Damage Control versus all of these powers that be and whatever. But that match, I gave it a 7.7 out of 10, man. It was a solid match, start to finish. Technicality wise was really, really great. You know,
I give it a 7.5. And I have a little off topic, on topic question.
Shoot.
I'm trying to think how to word it. So do you think at some point, if they continue the bloodline storyline, do they involve females into their bloodline? That way they can have all the titles? Let's say you get Sammy with the Intercontinental or a Solo with the Intercontinental, and then you throw in some honorary female bloodline members, and the bloodline holds all the titles.
Bring back Nia Jax.
You think they bring her back there? Yeah, but she's
actual bloodline.
She's actual bloodline, but she was also one of the ones they said was unsafe to work with. She was hurting motherfuckers left and right.
She was terrible.
I hated watching her anyway, so I really don't. I'd rather see an honorary fucking member at this point than bringing her back.
I don't know. I think they're just going to leave the bloodline out of the women's titles altogether. You know, There's no real reason for them to jump into it. They got no dog in the race, you know?
Yeah.
The only one that would make sense would be Nia Jax if they did it, but I don't think anybody wants to see her back anyway. Like,
I mean, unless you got Sammy hooking up with one of them.
Maybe, but who at that point? Candice LeRae? No, it's a possibility. I'm not sure. I
just want to say if this happens, I called it right now on 11. What is today's date? November 7th, 2022 at 10:47 Eastern Standard Time at night.
The only way I think that they would add a female in is if they were going up against the Judgment Day. Right? Because then you need somebody to combat Rhea Ripley.
I mean, you just need another dude for the Solo could do that.
I mean, Solo. We'll get to Solo later on.
She's a badass.
And she is. We'll get to Rhea soon too, because that match is coming up. Match number 3. Steel cage match. Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre. I gotta tell you, the Karrion Kross Scarlet entrance at Crown Jewel was absolutely amazing. I'm very shocked that they let them do it the way they did. Because Scarlett's crawling around, she's popping up between his legs and stuff like that. I was very shocked that they allowed that at Saudi Arabia. Her bodysuit was full leather, like it was
Sorry.
Karrion Kross is slowly becoming like one of my favorites to watch now. He's got a good gimmick. You know, Scarlett is the manager. She's great.
And yet again, you can only thank Triple H for it.
Absolutely. It's the only reason they're back. The only reason both of them are back. They should have never left in the first place. He had a push going before they got rid of him, which made no sense. They got rid of him out of nowhere, and they were pushing him.
You got people like Austin Theory who came in and just immediately went to ball gag town to get their top spot.
Now, this was a great match, but we have another like so ending to it. You know, Drew's climbing out, like Scarlett locks the cage door so Drew can't get out of it. He has to start climbing up. She unlocks it real quick so Karrion can run out. This is after she already maced Drew. She maced the referee. No one said anything. She's pepper spraying everybody.
Which
spray all over the place.
That would be horrible for the following match. I'm just fucking saying.
Me and you both know how bad that is.
Oh yeah, that whole front row would be fucked up, depending on what kind it was. Hopefully, there was no kids in that front row.
Yeah, exactly. So she locks the cage door, and then she does this weird thing where she tries to hurry up to unlock it while Drew's climbing out, and there's a race to get to the floor, and Drew beats him. He wins. But I think Karrion Kross still got over, man. I think he still got over. What are you drinking there? Battery acid, bro? What's going on?
It tastes so good, but it's fucking strong.
You need some ice, man.
I know. Like I had a burn
Trying to get us sponsored by Revel Stokes here?
Yes. Hit us up. I'll take the sponsor. Also hit me up for keeps. Obviously, I need that. Manscaped, hit me up. I'll help you with that too.
We're just shameless shills here at the Oversell podcast. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm awake.
There we go. So it was a good match. I liked it. Cage match. It wasn't anything crazy. Honestly, there was no reason for there to be a cage except for the ending.
I gave it a 6.2.
6.2? I actually went with a 7.5 because as a wrestling match, it was good. But it was just like, other than the ending being the way it was, there was no reason for this to be a cage match.
Did you see where Triple H is talking about taking away Hell in a Cell as a solo event and shit?
I don't know. It might be the right move.
I agree.
It might be the right move because then you could just pop it up whenever you want to.
I think it took away from the excitement of watching Hell in a Cell.
Because you knew there was going to be a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Now you could be like, now somebody could challenge somebody to Hell in a Cell at Survivor Series or at like SummerSlam or something like that, and you're not beholden to that one pay-per-view. It kind of makes it a little bit more meaningful. Yeah.
Hey, we're on the same page.
Hey, look at that, bud. Yeah, puts it all like in the hands of the storyline. Two guys are warring so bad that Karrion Kross looks at Drew and he's like, "That's it. I want you in Hell in a Cell."
I mean, or Bobby Lashley versus Brock 3.
Oh, please not in a Hell in a Cell. They're going to do something stupid where like Lashley spears Brock through the cell like they did in 2002. Like we don't need it again.
I love it.
Oh man. So I went 7-5 for that one. It's a pretty decent match. We're moving on to the fourth match of the night, the 6-man tag. We're going to New Japan Wrestling because it's the OC versus the Judgment Day. And these guys are just hamming it up, New Japan style, Bullet Club style. I know we can't call it the Bullet Club, but whatever.
Whoa. Calm down there.
I call it the OC, but it was a good match. No. I can't get over Dominic, man. Like, the kid just doesn't look good. His dad made him look so much better on his own and with the Judgment Day. I just can't take the kid seriously. He's like a slug out there.
I'm really curious why they went the direction they did, like fully splitting Dom and Ray and then putting Dom on the other brand. Or, Ray on the other brand. Like, are they going to circle back to some storyline here? Like, what's going on? What do you think's happening?
I think they want to see if Dom can be a heel. If he could stand on his own without his father. So they put him in a heel group because he's obviously not ready to be like, no one's going to take this kid seriously because,
I don't think he can do it solo. That's why they've got Rhea, like.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In his corner with everything, which she makes him look good and shit.
I don't think she does, man. Like, honestly,
I think she pulls it. I'm not saying he's phenomenal, but I'm saying she helps out substantially.
Yeah. I mean, it's just every time he's in the ring, he just looks so stiff. He's trying to do these moves that, he's talking about he's the greatest luchador of all time. He can barely do a head scissors takeover. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not connecting. I'm wondering if maybe he's got to go under the hood and put a mask on.
I don't think I got to change anything. I just want to know where the end of this is because they're going to bring him and Ray back together. Something's going to happen.
No, I don't think they are, man. I really don't.
You think
Ray's getting ready to? I think Ray's getting ready to turn it in. They just did a bunch of biographies on him. They're doing a bunch of retrospectives on him. I think he's about. I mean, the guy's 50. Like how much longer he's been wrestling since he was like 14 years old.
That makes me feel old.
In Mexico City, you know what I mean? Like in Tijuana and shit. Like he's been wrestling forever. 4 decades or something like that. He's been wrestling. So like he's about ready to hang him up, I think. And I think this was his way of like putting Dom onto his own path, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't think they swing back around on it.
I figured they would end it if he was retiring. I figured they would end it with Dom next to him and him taking like the Mysterio mantle up.
I mean, maybe he gives him a mask.
Like you got Ray on screen, like unmasking himself because we know he was unmasking WCW. He went fucking for a long time unmasked, so it's not going to be anything fucking new, even though that was a whole bullshit storyline that he didn't agree with.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't agree with. It was disrespectful as fuck. But
it was, absolutely.
I think for him to hang up and retire, he would unmask to give it to Dom. Just like hey, I'm done. You're going to live. You have to pass on our legacy here. Here's my mask.
I mean, that's a possibility. I don't know if he necessarily, and maybe they do get back together then so they could do that. I don't know, because he's been very adamant with them about never unmasking. So I don't even know if he would do it for that reason. I think he would give Dom his own mask. I don't know if he'd take his off.
I don't know. I think he'll take his own off. I think it makes it more personal because it's his mask to Dom.
Yeah, but his uncle didn't take his mask off to give to Ray.
He doesn't have to be like his uncle, though.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But he's passing down the Mysterio name, you know what I mean? Because then does Dom become Rey Mysterio?
He's got a long fucking way to go.
I mean, I'm saying, does he adopt the name Rey Mysterio, or does he stay as Dominic Mysterio?
I say he stays Dom Mysterio, but he keeps the Mysterio last name.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because he's passing on the legacy. The legacy is the King of Mystery.
I say at some point he tries to drop the Mysterio last name while he's with
Judgment Day.
Yes. Sorry that whiskey's kicking in there. He drops Mysterio last name. Something happens with Ray. They reconnect. He picks it back up, and he passes on the whole Mysterio persona to Dom and bolts.
It's definitely possible. Definitely not outside of the realm of possibility. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But this was another match that ended
mediocre
because you had the Rhea Ripley interference and everything like that, and that's how they end up winning, But the question is, who does the OC bring in to combat Rhea Ripley? Got to bring somebody, So, I mean, by the time you guys watch this at home, maybe we get the answer on Monday Night Raw. Not sure, because this is going up probably Tuesday or Wednesday after Raw. So maybe we'll get the answer. Let us know in the comments what you think. If we get the answer, let us know in the comments of what you think that they did. We want to hear from you guys also, like what happened with Crown Jewel, what you thought about Crown Jewel.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know your scores if you agree, disagree, if we missed something.
Absolutely. And since we're about halfway through, we might as well start chilling for ourselves a little bit. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on everything on GGEN. We've got a lot of things going on. We've got podcasts all over the place. We're streaming on Twitch. We're streaming on YouTube, video games.
We are everywhere.
Room podcast, the Multiversal podcast. We've got reaction videos. If you like Tom McDonald, jump on those reaction videos. We're all over the place.
You got a lot of good TikToks from when Zoop here went to New York Comic-Con. I've got
a CGC unboxing video coming out. It's going to be pretty rad.
We have something for everybody.
For everybody.
You want news? We got news. You want wrestling? We got wrestling. The captain's working on his little project right now.
Yeah, we got some new stuff coming out soon.
We'll have some new charity events coming out. Carmine or Zuplex here and I have been playing a lot of Modern Warfare, and I've been doing a lot of rage quitting.
We're definitely going to get on stream one night this week. All right, on to the second half of Crown Jewel, where it actually starts to get pretty decent. Well, actually, not this match. It's after this match it starts to get pretty good. Match number 5. Omos versus Braun Strowman. What a snooze fest this was. I
don't even have a screenshot for that.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't need it. because like honestly, nothing happened. It was almost beating up Braun for 3 minutes, and Braun pulling out the magical power slam out of nowhere. I mean, it was pretty impressive to see him pick up a 420-pound man on his shoulder and then power slam him. But at the same point, it's just like Braun. I love Braun as a big man. He's one of my favorite big men of all time because he actually has personality. He can actually get on the mic. He's got to get these hands. But he also does shit. He does shit like drop kicks and different things in the ring that most big men wouldn't do.
He's a good big man. He's like the old Brock, like when Brock was high flyer.
Yeah, exactly. When Brock first jumped on the scene.
Before he tried to break his own neck.
Exactly. I can do a shooting star press. That's what I'm saying. Like Braun is that guy. Like he can be that big man that is ferocious, gigantic, and everything like that. He's got the comedy side to him. You saw that when he was doing the mixed tag matches with Alexa Bliss. And then he's got ability inside the ring that most big men don't have. And then you got Omos, who might be the most boring character. He's the only guy on the card that's more boring than Bobby Lashley, man.
I fucking hate him.
Oh, it's just wild that they're still pushing this guy. I thought for sure once Hunter was in charge, this dude was out of there.
I hope at some point he's gone. I do. I hate him.
I didn't like him when he was AJ Styles' bodyguard. I don't like him now.
I hate his character.
He tried to sell a lot. Like he was in the ring, like beating up Braun, talking shit the entire time, which I appreciated because it was kind of something new to see. But he just kept saying the same thing over and over again. Like he wasn't like even original about it. He was just like, "You're not gonna be able to get me. I'm bigger. I'm bigger than you.
Fee fi
like,
fo
I'm
fum.
too big. Like fee fi fo fum. I'm the Nigerian giant. Like
at this point, just bring Goldberg back, let Goldberg spear him, and be done with his career.
Yeah, like it's just over, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, I just don't understand the draw to this guy. I mean, maybe for Crown Jewel because
it's because he's a big guy. He's fucking his size is stupid.
Yeah, no, the guy's gigantic. Like, let's not sell it short. But this is like the same thing. Like when you had the Great Khali. Yeah, the Great Khali was gigantic. He was terrible.
Horrible, but funny.
I mean, he was funny. He was funny. Don't get me wrong. At least he had a personality.
Yeah.
This dude doesn't even have that. Like, he doesn't even have the personality. If he didn't have MVP talking for him, like, forget it, bro. Like, this guy would be nothing. Like, I don't understand. They got to get rid of him. Stop putting him on.
Would you like to tell everybody that doesn't know why MVP wasn't there? Because I'm sure there's some like me when I asked you about Sammy earlier that don't know why they weren't there.
So we spoke kind of about this a little bit, that Saudi Arabia has its own rules. Basically, it's because of their religion. MVP was a former Muslim that became atheist, and Sami Zayn was also born Muslim, and I believe is no longer a practicing Muslim. So I believe I don't want to speak out of turn here and get like Saudi Arabia mad at us, but I believe that's like
we're a small channel. I don't think Saudi Arabia is going to bomb us anytime soon.
I'm just saying, like, I believe that in their laws and in their beliefs that is punishable by death.
Probably everything's by death over there.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that. Fact check me if you want. I'm not dying on that hill. So let us know in the comments if we're wrong or right about that one. But that is why the week before on SmackDown, which was pre-recorded, MVP was written out by the attack by Braun or whatever. And Sammy, they just didn't even explain. He just didn't show up, which kind of makes sense. But
yeah,
I actually didn't know of his Muslim background until I saw him on the Broken Skulls podcast. And he was telling Stone Cold about it.
He did a Broken Skulls? I have to watch that.
It's good. It's
Didn't know he did that one.
So almost versus Braun, I gave it the same thing as Brock and Lashley because it was basically the same match. 5 out of 10.
4.3.
I like it.
Because of my disdain for that big motherfucker. He's just boring to me.
Next up, we had the Tag Team Championships. Usos versus the Brawling Brutes. Now, they alluded to something in the match that Jey Uso had his hand wrapped up. They were saying that he might have a broken wrist. He's got to go for surgery, this, that, and the other thing. So they might be writing them out TV for a little bit, which might screw up a lot of plans for the Bloodline.
I saw in the match where they grabbed his hand and were like making it look like they broke his fucking fingers.
It was actually before the match started, and that was actually Jimmy that they did that to.
It did to both of them in the match, but
yeah, I mean, that's
the prior to news I didn't know about.
Yeah, that's the Butch. I guess they call him now Butch, not the bruiserweight anymore, but yeah, Butchie there. He always does that joint manipulation stuff. It's big in England, like big in like British wrestling and stuff like that. Is joint manipulation and stuff.
That's not even really. That's just being an asshole. Sorry,
basically.
Because trust me, I know about joint manipulation. I'm trained in it. He's just being an asshole.
But I don't know. We got to wait and see what happens. We'll find out this week on SmackDown if they're writing, the Usos off TV for a little while. We'll wait and see what happens with that. But this match, I loved it. I thought the Brawling Brutes got over on this one. Like, they looked great. They gave the Usos a run for their money. It's kind of a given at this point that the Usos aren't losing that title until it's to someone huge. And the Brawling Brutes aren't those guys. But without having Sheamus there because he's off getting married, these guys looked fantastic. The match went clean. It was entertaining. They had a lot of I
do have a screenshot for that. Sorry.
It was a great finish. Absolutely great finish. The white noise, super kicks left and right, frog splashes all over the place. It was a fantastic finish to it.
That double body slam, which is my current screenshot actually.
The 3D, the 1D that they do.
Yeah.
Oh, the double body slam that Rich Holland did.
Yeah, where he grabs both of them.
Yeah, amazing. He's fantastic. Butch is fantastic. I keep wanting to call him Pete Dunne, but they put on a hell of a match. I loved it. I love tag team matches because they're always so much fun with the near falls and the saves and the jumping in and out and everything like that. They're always way more entertaining to me. And this did not disappoint, man. They put on, I think the Brawling Brutes got over, man. I really do. I think the Usos made them look good, even with the loss. They still got over. They looked fantastic. So we'll see what's up next for them. But the Usos win. They retain. They're on their way to break the New Day's record.
Of course. 8.4.
I went 8.2. I went 8.2 on that one.
8.4.
I like it. We're pretty close to each other on that one. Match number 7 is the last woman standing match, Bayley versus Bianca. And let me tell you something. They took some crazy bumps in this match.
In the golf cart.
Crazy bumps. The golf cart was lame, to be honest with you, because she was going 8 miles. She was barely hitting the gas with it. I'm talking about there was one point where Bianca does a 450 onto a stack of chairs, and it looked like she smashed her face into every single one of them. Bayley got us out of the way. The thing about the golf cart was they go to throw Bayley through the table, and the table doesn't break. She goes skittering off that thing. I was like, oh my God. They took a lot of risks. They took a lot of like crazy bumps in this one. It was entertaining. Thought it was sloppy at some times though. Did.
Yeah.
And I think with the females, what I've been noticing a lot more is that there are certain females that you can definitely tell they're pulling their punches.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a good statement.
Yeah, they're definitely, you can, like, it's just noticeable. And this was one of those matches where I noticed that Bayley was pulling her punches, Bianca was pulling her punches. But then when it came to the stuff with like chairs and ladders, they were going all out. The kendo sticks, they were going all out. Like Bianca beat Bayley with that kendo stick up the entire ramp. Like they were taking crazy bumps out on the stage, crazy bumps on the ramp. So like the thing I don't understand is if you could do all that, right, and take the bump on the ladder and take the bump on the chairs and hit each other with kendo sticks super hard and everything like that, why can't you sell your punches?
Maybe they don't trust themselves.
I mean, I guess that's got to be it. It'd
have to be. You don't know. Maybe they were never properly taught how to pull a punch.
I mean, maybe. But I mean, Bayley's been in. She's one of the 4 horsewomen. You know what I'm saying? She should know, if anybody, how to do it. I will tell you one of it was a small part of this match, but I loved was that Bianca went straight like Rob Van Dam, Sabu, ECW days, and Bayley's sitting on top of the ropes, and she just chucks a chair in her face.
I didn't see that.
I was like, yes, let's go. Straight RVD, ECW, Hammerstein Ballroom. Let me throw a chair at your mouth.
Open up.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So I appreciated them going all out for it. You know what I mean? They really did. They put it on the line. Finish was great, something we've never seen before. She trapped Bayley in between the ladder and then put it underneath the ring ropes so Bayley couldn't get out. That gave her the last woman standing, I should say. Bianca wins. Bianca retains. Maybe that sets up, like we were saying earlier, something for War Games.
What do you give it? What's your ranking?
I went 8.5, even with the shitty pulled punches, but the rest of it was so entertaining. I can't. And they went all out. I got to give it to them. 8.5.
I went 8.2.
Understandable. Absolutely understandable. Now we have, before we get to the main event, the Bray Wyatt segment. Bray comes out. He starts talking about his time as the Fiend, his time as he put the mask on, like he didn't want to be that guy, but he knew he had to be that guy. And when he became that guy, he couldn't stop being that guy. And now he just wants to be Bray. He doesn't want to do any of this anymore. He's just going to come out there, entertain us, be this. And then sure enough, lights start to dim. I mean, and first off, before we even get to that, his entrance was fucking fantastic.
What did they have?
He came out with the lantern. The Fireflies were in it. Riyadh had like these drones in the air that turned into the Death Moth. It was the most wild thing I've ever seen. Like they're in an open air stadium in Riyadh, and there's drones above it in an open air. Like it was a crazy entrance. Looks fantastic. He looks like he's ready to go again. He looks like he's ready to like really jump back in. The time off, I guess, did him well. Hunter being in charge is going to do him much better because Hunter's going to let him go with this now.
Oh yeah, he's going to let him do him. Which he's a fucking genius. He is a creative fucking genius.
Absolutely is, no doubt about it. And this is going to be a really interesting way where they go. They brought in Uncle Howdy on the big screen. And Uncle Howdy starts talking to him. He starts saying, who killed the world and this, that, and the other thing. And he starts asking Bray if he can even, I can't remember the exact words he used. But I think it was something along the lines of like, we'll see if you can actually withstand not having the mask and this, that, and the other thing. So he's challenging him. So we don't know if they're doing the multiple personality and Uncle Howdy is Bray, or if they're really bringing back together the Wyatt family.
The new and improved Wyatt family.
Yeah, my problem with them bringing back the Wyatt family is I don't know if Bray would do it without Luke Harper.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he would want to do that without Luke Harper.
I mean, even if they do bring him back, do you think Braun rejoins? Or do you think Braun's on his own path right now?
Braun's on his own path, because I think they would have clued us in like they did with Alexa. There would have been some sort of clue towards Braun. Like
maybe there has been. We just haven't noticed it.
Earlier on in the night. I mean, it was a pretty obvious clue. It wasn't like they were hiding anything.
Yeah, but
subtlety is not the WWE strong suit here.
Right.
They kind of banged us over the head with it, but I loved how she played it off. But I mean, I think like there's a lot of I can't remember the guy's name. He's down in NXT right now. Because I don't really watch NXT 2.0. I'm like, I gotta start again because it's starting to get good again.
I saw where they had like R-Truth and somebody else in one of the latest episodes.
Yeah, they're sending people down. Apollo Crews is down there. But the guy that runs Schism, they call it the group Schism. There's a big theory that he's going to wind up being like one of the Wyatt Six that they're calling it, which that might be the new name. Maybe they could just call it, instead of the Wyatt family, it's just the Wyatt Six. I got a funny feeling they're bringing back Bo Dallas.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I took another. I was processing it.
I was waiting for your fucking brain to reset there, bud.
Yeah, I went in.
I think they bring back Bo Dallas for it, maybe. Give him a little bit of redemption, let him join his brother, his real life brother. Anybody that's out there that doesn't know, Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt are actually brothers in real life. So I think that's a possibility. Alexa's definitely involved. We got that hint last night or the other night.
I mean, you kind of figured that was going to happen, though.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. I mean, she sold a lot of those Lily dolls, so the WWE is jumping all back on that train. She sold a shit ton of Lily dolls, so we'll see how that goes. But the segment I thought was entertaining. I just can't wait to see Bray back in the ring. I can't wait to see where the storyline is going. I want to see if we get the Fiend back. I want to see if he is Uncle Howdy. I'm so invested in this Bray Wyatt story that I cannot wait for Monday Night Raw now and see what's going on.
If they don't push for Roman versus The Rock, I want Roman versus Bray.
I want Roman versus Bray anyway.
Like, I want him to take the titles. That's what I want.
If there's anybody in the company right now that could, and they would be okay with him taking the titles, it would be Bray. Because Bray could do that justice, big time justice. But speaking of Roman, let's get to the main event, baby. I will tell you something right now. What was it? Where was he at? SummerSlam, WrestleMania? Logan Paul, like WrestleMania, right?
Who? What are we talking about?
Logan Paul, when he was
WrestleMania. He was at WrestleMania.
When he wrestled The Miz, right? Before WrestleMania, I was like, I can't believe they're giving this guy a fucking shot in a match with The Miz. It's so stupid. He proved me wrong there, and boy, did he prove me way wrong here, because he looked fantastic. This dude is pulling off moves. He's not just some regular like celebrity in the ring. He is athletic. He's looked dangerous as fuck sometimes because he is just throwing his body to the wolves on some of these things. Like that splash.
I'm going to agree, but this is the same conversation that Fred and I had, which was, yes, it's impressive. Yes, I respect it, but he needs to slow the fuck down.
He does.
Like, if he wants to have any career at all, he needs to fucking chill.
Yeah. This dude's going to break his neck. Like, first off, let's talk about this for a second. He hits a blockbuster. He hits the splash to the outside, and he hits a little Hangman Adam Page buckshot lariat that looks like it takes Roman's head off. He did that better than Hangman Page does. That's one of the best buckshot lariats I've ever seen. The match was amazing. Roman played his part. Roman did a good job of selling the kid. He got over. Logan Paul got over in my eyes. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll give it that. He definitely sold his worth as a superstar for WWE. His fucking brother, on the other hand, can eat a dick somewhere.
We'll get to that in a second. I'm getting to the whole impulsive guys and everything like that. But I will say this. Everybody that's spoken about Logan Paul from the company has said that he's taking this very seriously. Triple H said he's taking it very seriously, that he's training his ass off. He's learning. He's going through the ropes and everything like that. And he's a big name outside of wrestling.
Which, it's what he does. And like I told Fred the other day, he's grown a lot. Since his early YouTube days, he's grown as a person. Like, he did a lot of stupid shit. The shit in Japan that had him fucked for years. He came back from that. Went into boxing. Got his ass beat a couple times. Was immature about that, but now he's friends with the dude that he fought. Like, they have a fucking company together, Prime.
Yep.
He wanted to do wrestling, jumped into wrestling. He's taking it on full force, being dedicated to it. Hats off to him. I respect him for it.
I respect him for it,
And he looks good. He looks fucking good, which surprised the shit out of me. I thought he was going to be just some mediocre fucking shit. But he looks good. He can fly. Like, he looks good doing it.
Yeah.
He just needs to slow the fuck down. So he
definitely needs to slow down. I agree, because I'll tell you right now, I did not think he was landing that planche to the outside properly. I thought he was going to die. Thank God the Usos caught him, because I was like, this dude's going to overshoot him.
Did you see the clip where he does the frog splash onto the table when Roman's on it? Did you see the clip of Roman checking on him?
Such a smart move by him to get the phone. So that leads us into like them pulling the impulsive guys in. So you got his little crew. I don't know their names. One of them was Mike. He used to be married to Lana Rhodes. That's the only reason I know.
I don't think he was married. I know he was fucking her.
No, they were dating. Yeah, they were dating.
Like, it was weird. I watched that whole breakdown of them. Which he's excellent on their podcast. Their Impulsive podcast.
He is.
Dude, he's phenomenal with his questions and shit. He surprised me also. The other dude's just funny.
Absolutely. Pull them into the ring. The Usos show up to help Roman. The Impulsive guys start yelling at him. They pull after Roman gets crashed through the table, right?
Beat the shit out
of him. I loved a little side note. I loved at one point Michael Cole said instead of the Spanish announce table, it was the Saudi Arabian announce table. Like, right through the Saudi Arabian announce table.
Which it caught me off guard initially because I watched it and I saw the one Saudi dude just sitting on the side of the thing. I was like, who the fuck is that guy? And I was like, oh, he's probably the announcer. Like, he was just chilling there.
Because for years, like every Monday Night Raw in the 90s, somebody went through that Spanish announce table and they said it every single Monday night. It was like, right through the Spanish announce table. It was just great to hear him go like, right through the Saudi Arabian announce table. I was like, this is fucking great. They get into it with the Impulsive guys. They drag them over the barricade, bring them to the ring. They beat them up. Music hits.
Real quick, before you get into Jake Paul, not Mike, the other one, dude, they fucking treated him like a rag doll.
Yeah, they just threw him around.
Like, they were not easy with him at all.
Probably learned that guy's name, but they beat the crap out of him.
Like, he legitimately he took some good fucking bumps just pitching him around. Now you can go into the bullshit that I hate. Go ahead.
Music hits. The problem child appears.
Please don't use his nickname. Fuck him.
Listen, man, it's a wrestling podcast. We got to use his nickname. So we do his nicknames here.
I hate him.
You know? Listen, I don't like the guy either, but he's there. It's his brother. I get it. Bloodline versus bloodline. The real bloodline's here. Idiots. So he comes down the ramp, gets in the ring, throws the worst fake punches I've ever seen in my entire life. Thank God it's the Usos, and they can sell basically anybody. You know what I mean? Because if that was somebody that couldn't sell or couldn't take that the right way,
it would have fucked that match up.
Way worse.
It would have ruined the match. Because that's the only thing people would have thought about. That no matter all the fucking cool shit that they did prior to that moment would have fucked it up.
Absolutely. Heyman's on the outside going nuts. I did enjoy Heyman the entire match. I love him on the outside with the bloodline, just being like, my tribal chief, get up, my tribal chief. I need you to get up, my tribal chief. Like, Heyman is by far the best thing to happen to wrestling forever. Like,
oh yeah, I agree with that.
If it's not for Paul Heyman and like none of this, we're not talking about any of this today. But Jake Paul does his little shtick. You know, he gets out of the ring. The music hits. It's Solo. He comes down looking like a mixture between Rikishi and Taz. He's got the towel over his head. He's got the wraps all on him. Solo, he's got the Umaga fucking thumb.
Looking like a bad motherfucker.
He's looking like every Samoan wrestler ever. Like, all melded into one.
Like this, right? This dude's straight out of Moana.
Yeah. Right out of Moana. Ready to just...
He is trying to get the heart of Tafiti out of Jake Paul's face. Sorry, this whiskey really kicked in. I have a daughter. She loves that show.
Welcome to the Oversell podcast where we're bringing in Moana references.
Hey, it works because, I mean, it is The Rock.
It was The Rock. For some reason, I don't understand like why the whole locker room came out to break up Solo and Jake. I would have much rather had seen Solo hit him with like the Umaga thumb or something like that, or hit him with a move and take him out. But I are they setting up Solo?
Definitely. They're building the anticipation for it. They're going to have that fight, especially now with Logan being out for at least 6 months. At least 6 months.
Yeah, you talk about that too. Is Logan blew his entire knee out? ACL, MCL, possible.
He did ACL, MCL, meniscus, which is the same thing that happened to me in 2007. That surgery is no fucking joke.
Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare for this kid to come back. He's definitely going to be out for at least 8 months. You know. So now, yeah, we set up Solo versus Jake. But without Logan being able to be there in his corner, like, when's that going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, him getting injured might have put a wrench in that plan.
Not necessarily. Depends on how they play it off. They could say some backstage shit happened. Solo attacked Jake or Logan, fucked up his knee, and now Jake's coming back to get revenge.
They can't do that because everybody knows that Logan blew his knee out because he posted it on Instagram.
Yeah, but I mean, kayfabe.
Everybody knows who was in the match. Everybody knows who was in the match with Roman. He said it.
Really
said it. No. Because with Logan,
they could blame it on Solo at some point.
But with Logan, they're playing into that. They're playing into the whole Instagram, YouTube type of thing. So I'm sure they had him posted up there.
That was a badass paw video. If you haven't watched that point of view video, I would like to see more shit like that. because it was
Absolutely.
badass.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of the things that Logan Paul brings to the company is that he's got a following. He's able to do shit like that. He's athletic, so they know he can go. You know, I mean, they got to teach him.
It's definitely smart playing off of his social media background. Like, instead of bringing him in as just a fresh face, being like, "This is who you are."
Yeah,
they let him go. Hey, you know, your social media is your background, so fucking send it.
Yeah,
because you're going viral, Roman.
Yeah, it's amazing. But like, there's no reason to have him play anybody else but Logan Paul, right? Because Logan Paul's a character in itself, so might as well just be that guy. Just be Logan Paul to the nth degree. Now you're Logan Paul, the professional wrestler. Let's see what you got. You know what I mean?
I mean, and hats off to him. He kept his name and his whole persona.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that was, I mean, listen, when it comes to the celebrities being in the WWE, because they have that entire celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, you know, they've always done this. They've always brought in outside celebrities to kind of like push wrestling to the mainstream, right? So Logan may be that guy that can bring a younger audience back into wrestling and stuff like that. You know, it's definitely possible. The guy's got what, 30 million YouTube followers? Like, it's
something like that.
Like, I don't even know.
He's definitely bringing curiosity into the wrestling world.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that tuned into Crown Jewel that have never watched wrestling before just to see Logan Paul.
Yeah,
you know,
he's got a big fan base.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then maybe they see the Usos versus the Brawling Brutes and they're like, oh, this is pretty cool. I mean, keep watching, you know? Hunter knows what he's doing by bringing him in.
Oh, it's a definite great money move for the WWE. Great money move. Like, smart as fuck.
Did you see Hunter on the pot on Impulsive?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, Hunter knows what he's doing, man. Like, it's a small...
It's so far beyond what Vince was doing with, I'm going to find the biggest dude, or I'm going to find this fucking dude that I like solely and push him. There's no money behind that shit. You ruin the WWE. You push your fan base away. You were pushing somebody like Austin Theory, who I fucking hate. I hate his character. You're going to push that. And then when you leave, Hunter takes over and he pushes smart fucking moves.
Yeah.
And brings everybody back.
Exactly.
Like, we got rid of this person for no fucking reason. Why? Bring him back.
Exactly. Like, Hunter was the guy that created the original NXT, right? He was the brains behind that, and it was super successful. It gave us guys like Sami Zayn, like Kevin Owens, like Apollo Crews, like, you know, there were so many. Shinsuke Nakamura started there, you know, and as soon as they get to the main roster, they got buried by Vince.
Kevin Owens is probably my favorite in the business right now.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. He's my favorite on the roster right now.
He's one I've prior to me starting back watching wrestling, I followed all his shit. I like Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
His personality is phenomenal.
Personality is phenomenal. Amazing in the ring, especially for a guy like in his shape and everything like that.
And his WrestleMania match with Stone Cold, fucking loved it.
Fucking amazing. If you go back to like when John Cena had the US title and was doing that weekly like US title challenge and shit like that, he put on one of the best matches I've ever seen on Monday Night Raw with Cena. You know what I mean? Kevin Owens is a phenomenal fucking wrestler, and he's somebody that they should be pushing. I think Hunter's going to give a push to too. But then you even look at the smaller guys like Tommaso, Gargano. You know, Ciampa and Gargano. Like, Hunter loves Tommaso Ciampa. Mm-hmm. Hunter thinks that Tommaso Ciampa could be the world heavyweight champion at one point because he's that good in the ring. You know, Johnny Gargano, he loves Johnny Gargano. Like, I see them becoming a tag team again, going back to DIY and facing the Usos at WrestleMania for the tag championships.
You know who I think deserves a good solid push?
Who's that?
The Miz.
I mean, he's had his pushes though, man.
I think he needs a big push, like what they're doing with Roman.
I see.
I think he deserves it.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. What I'm saying is, The Miz is a phenomenal intercontinental champion. He's like Razor Ramon. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys that can bring weight and importance to the Intercontinental Championship. He makes you want to watch that Intercontinental Championship match.
Well, I mean, why wouldn't you want to watch him defend the unified titles?
You know what it is, man? It's just his in-ring ability isn't up to the par of like Owens, Rollins, Roman.
That motherfucker can make anybody look good.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all.
And,
but there's a difference.
And he looks good himself.
I don't think he does sometimes, man. Like, I think a lot of times he pulls his kicks.
You think Roman looks good? You think Roman looks better than him?
No. I think Roman looks better than him on the simple fact that Roman can do more. I think Roman can do more because of Roman's size.
I disagree. Because, I mean, even going back to this crown jewel, most of that match was Logan. Until like the last 5-10 minutes of that match.
That's because Roman was trying to get him over, though. When Roman's trying to get him over, he's going to let him take control of the match for most of it.
The Miz could do the same thing. I think he deserves a push.
But let me ask you a question.
He put Logan right where he's at.
Who do you think's better in the ring? Owens, Rollins, or The Miz?
Owens, Rollins, or The Miz?
Owens and Rollins or The Miz?
Owens.
You can't tell me that Owens, The Miz is better than Owens or Rollins.
Hold on. If I would do it in order to be Owens, Rollins, Miz.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying just because he's third, Sami Zayn would be fourth. He'd be behind The Miz. Yeah.
Not a chance, bro.
I mean, he is phenomenal. He did make the Jackass guys look great.
Sami Zayn makes everybody look great.
I don't think.
But see, like that. But that's my point. Sami Zayn and The Miz, I think, would put on banger Intercontinental Championship matches. But for them to be fighting like for the unified titles, I think kind of
it don't have to be a massive run like Roman's got going on right now.
He had the run.
Give him like a year.
Give him a year? I don't know about a year, man.
You could spread it out in a year. You could do WrestleMania to WrestleMania, and then you put somebody else over on WrestleMania. Maybe. I mean, but I just think he deserves it because I mean, look at all the talent he's pushed over.
Look, there's tiers of wrestlers, right? We all know that.
Yeah. Which, speaking of tiers, before you get into what you're about to say, how about we do a tier for one of our podcasts? I'm
down. I was planning on putting together something like that. Anyway, that's what I wanted to do for probably the next one. Actually, we could probably do a tier list.
I mean, I got the perfect site.
Perfect. I think that he is in the Intercontinental Championship tier. I think there's just some wrestlers that, like, they make that title. The Intercontinental Championship is supposed to be your second best title. So that's supposed to be the title that it's like the everyman's title. It's like the fighting title. The U.S. Championship is the challenge title. That's the title you're supposed to defend every week on TV. The Intercontinental Championship is supposed to be that title that anybody could almost fight for, but you got to be a real stud. So I'd be okay with him being the Intercontinental Championship for a year. No problem. Let's do it. Even Ric Flair said that he was doing the Intercontinental Championship justice. Said it at the Hall of Fame.
I don't know. I guess we can agree to disagree on that.
Yeah.
But
I just think he's better. I think he's better at that. You know what I mean?
One other random thing I want to bring up, which I was reading in the news lately. Stone Cold wants one more match. Who do you put up against him?
He's got the bug, man. He's got the bug.
Kevin Owens lit that fucking fire. Kevin Owens gave him a phenomenal fucking match.
You know what would be interesting? Cody
Rhodes versus Stone Cold.
Cody would be really, really interesting.
I don't
bring
know
it back.
that.
Bring it back with the Dusty stuff. That's someone also that we got to keep an eye out for because he's got to be showing up soon. He's got to be over the pec thing, right?
You'd think. I mean, it's been how long?
WrestleMania was in April. So you're getting April, May, June, July, August, September, October. You're talking about 6 months now. 6 to 8 months he was supposed to be out.
You think Cody versus Stone Cold? I don't see that one.
I think it would be pretty cool. Now that I'm thinking about the timeline, I'll bet you Cody comes back at Royal Rumble in January. They'll probably hold off on him until then.
I mean, I agree with that, but I don't see him versus Stone Cold.
Who else would you want to see versus Stone Cold?
Not that I would want to see it, but I see them plugging him in the bloodline in a non-title match. Just as a fuck you to Roman. Just like, we're going to bring him back. He's going to fuck you up.
You're cracked, bro. You're out of your mind.
I might be. I hope it fucking happens.
No, not against Roman.
Who would I want to see? Roman. Who would I want to see, though? Fuck.
We already saw Owens, so he's out. I thought that was the perfect match for him.
It was. That's such a good send-off match. That's why it's hard for me. That's why it's hard for me to decide who I want to see him.
I'm telling you, I think Cody is the guy.
I just don't see them working that well together.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do. Or
I don't.
Seth.
I don't think he'd work with Seth.
I think he would.
I don't think he'd work with Seth because of how Seth pretty much ended Sting's career, and Stone Cold's already had his career ended. I mean, I know they say Seth is great to work with but I don't know if he wants that chance.
He's not taking the curb stomp.
It wasn't the curb stomp that ended Sting's career.
I know, but I mean, like, listen, Sting's career is not over. He's in AEW throwing Darby Allin around.
It fucked him up for a while.
I mean, listen, man, the guy was 900 years old. He shouldn't have been in the fucking ring. What do you want me to tell you? Like, come on,
don't man. You fucking disrespect him like that.
Blame Seth for that. The guy's 200 fighting in AEW right now. He won't give it up. Then he gets in, and he's doing it week to week, and then he gets injured. And everybody's like, "Oh, I can't believe Sting got injured. The other guy's got to be way."
That is such a fucking hard question. Like, who would I want Stone Cold to face?
I'm trying to think because they would have to do. No, it can't be AJ, right? Couldn't be. Oh, what about Bray?
It would never happen.
I mean, it would never happen, but that would be pretty cool.
Okay, set up your perfect storyline. Give me your storyline of somebody and the storyline to do it.
I mean, I think Cody is the storyline. That's my point.
What's the storyline behind it? Like, how is it set up?
Dusty. He wants to prove himself against Stone Cold because Dusty never could. There's history there between Goldust, Stone Cold, Dusty Rhodes.
I would put. Here's my storyline. Okay, and this piggybacks to something we said earlier. I put Ray going to him and saying, "Look, I'm having a problem with Dom. How do I fix it?" And then Dom starting on him and him giving him stomping a motor hole in his fucking ass and working that storyline with him.
And then who goes up against Stone Cold, Ray or Dom?
Dom does.
No one wants to see fucking Dom against Stone Cold.
I would love to see it because he'd get his fucking ass kicked. That or you give Edge his retirement match against him.
But
because Edge is retiring next year?
Probably. I have to say.
I think when he said when he goes back to Canada next year, he said he's retiring.
How about Edge, Ray, and Stone Cold, and they bring in Trish Stratus to fight the Judgment Day?
I mean, I could fuck with that.
Ray starts calling on all his boys to help him get Dom out.
He calls the old heads in.
Yeah. Some OG shit there.
I could fuck with that.
Yeah.
I mean, does it have to be Trish Stratus?
I mean, I was just picking somebody from...
Bring back Lita.
It could be Lita.
Bring back Lita. She was a bad bitch back in the day.
I mean, I agree. I don't think she... so I know after the Royal Rumble, there were some talks about like her not really being cleared because of the neck injury. So I think that's a problem. But
all right, then so Trish. So Trish.
How dare you, sir? And don't ever call her trash.
Look, she's not trash. I'm good.
Listen. I will accept very many things on this podcast. Talking shit about Trish Stratus is not one of them.
No, I love her. It's between her and Tori. Those are my favorites. I don't know. Stacy Keibler was badass too.
Yep. We all know why too.
Because they were phenomenal wrestlers.
Phenomenal wrestlers. Well, Trish was. So overall, I added up my scores of every match.
We didn't score the final match.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Main event, I gave a 9.5.
9.8.
9.8? Really?
9.8. Yeah.
That's a high score for that.
It is. I mean, it was a phenomenal fucking match. Mostly because of Logan.
Listen, 9.5, I got to give it to it. You know, so I added up all my scores and I got a 7.7 basically. 77 out of 100.
I didn't add any of my scores up, but I'd say we're probably about the same.
Well, that's it for us. Make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe. Everything on GGEN. We're here for you guys on your weekly wrestling news. Come see us next week. We're going to be talking about what happened on the fallout from Crown Jewel on Monday Night Raw, what happened on SmackDown, and basically what where the storylines are heading. We're going to do some stuff, maybe a tier list next week, and kind of go from there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your man Zuplex. He's one shot. We're out of here.
Later.